Thanks for joining us for another Tantrum House crowdfunding conniption. Today we're sharing a look at the game Thunder Road Vendetta.
Now, as always, we want to make sure you're aware that our crowdfunded videos are sponsored in part by our own Kickstarter backers, as well as by the creators of this game. Hey gang, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sarah Meadows. Today we're looking at Thunder Road Vendetta. This is being brought to Kickstarter by Restoration Games. It's a redesign of the 1980s classic Thunder Road, and it's been worked on by a number of different designers. David Chalker, Noah Cohen, Rob Davio, Justin Jacobson, Brett Myers, and Brian Neff. It features artwork from Maria Bergeron and Garrett Kaida.
Now this is a 2 to 4 player dice-driven race game, just like its predecessor, but this one features all new art and many new elements and refinements. It is coming to Kickstarter soon, and we were given this prototype copy to check out in order to give you guys a look and a feel for how the game plays and what it looks like. If you want to check out our live playthrough of the game, you can do that on our channel as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at how this is played.
To set up the game, you'll lay out the road boards and give each player all of their boards, dice, and cars.
At the beginning of the game, everyone will roll their dice, and the player with the lowest total roll will go first.
They will then roll the road die, which will determine the additional move bonus that all players will get for the round if they manage to stay on the road for their entire movement.
And then, in turn order, they will begin selecting dice and moving vehicles.
Players will take turns one at a time, assigning a die and moving one of their small, medium, or large vehicles.
After ending their movement, if another vehicle is in one of the spaces in front of them, the active player can then roll the shooting die to see if they're able to successfully target the right-sized vehicle in order to deal damage.
If successful, a damage token is drawn and added to that vehicle after applying any effects that the token shows.
On one of their turns, during the round, players can assign a die to their command board to take a bonus action, like flying their copter, using a nitro boost, or making repairs.
If players cross over a hazard tile while racing, they must resolve it before continuing.
Same goes for any time one car slams into another.
Once all of their dice have been assigned, the round ends. The road die is passed to the next player, who becomes the start player, and the process is repeated.
If a player makes it to the end of the front tile, a new one is added, and the furthest back is eliminated, along with any vehicles that were still on it.
As soon as one player is entirely eliminated from the game, the furthest right tile becomes the final tile, and the first player to make it off the edge is the winner.
Restoration Games is restoring yet another classic 80s retro game and putting it back on the table. This is one that I had an opportunity to play both as a kid and as an adult. The new version of the game features all new artwork as well as a number of different gameplay and mechanic refinements.
Yeah, we talked about one way how to win the game, and those include making sure that you get off and finish the entire track throughout the game, and the other one is just being the last player standing. There are ways that you can have your cars eliminated in the game, but having at least one operable car be the last player standing will also win the game.
Right, so every time you do reach the end of the board during the middle of the game, you just add a new board to the front side, you remove the last one. If there's any cars on that, those are eliminated from the game. Another way to eliminate cars is with your sweet, sweet copter. That guy, if any car lands on the same space as your copter, whether they got slammed into it or if an oil slide moved them into it or something like that, they're eliminated from the game. Otherwise, taking damage tokens just makes your vehicle inoperable, which means once you hit 2, you can't move that car anymore. However, you can use that command action to repair a vehicle to get it back into action.
Yeah, you can only use one command action per round, so that means the only way to move your copter is using that. So if you have to repair or you end up using one of your nitro boosts, then you're not moving your copter, so there's less chance of you being able to eliminate other players using that method. So you're going to have to balance out that command board. You have 4 dice and only 3 vehicles, so you do have some choices in how you use those dice.
There's a lot of different things that you resolve in the game, and there are a number of different colored dice that allow you to do that. We showed a couple in the examples. One of the other things that happens is if 2 cars end up in the same space, they actually stack on top of each other, and then you roll 2 different dice to determine which vehicle is going to get moved, slammed, and then which direction are they going to go in. That also happens with a lot of the other tiles that you flip over, so you kind of never know where you're going to end up at. However, getting that copter into the general vicinity is a really great way to potentially eliminate other people's vehicles entirely.
Yeah, and there are some bonuses. There's that movement bonus for just being able to stay on the road. Those maps are all different, and so some of them have spaces where you just cannot even go into. If you do, you're falling off a ravine or something happens, so your car can be eliminated that way as well.
And the other spaces in the board will cost you additional movement tokens to get into. So if you drive into a mud spot, it costs you 2 movement points, which is basically what's shown on your die. That determines how far you move in the game. It costs you 2 to enter into those areas, and so you've got to spend more movement if you're not on the road. However, if you take the road, you're going zigzaggy all the way around trying to get through the game.
So this game does feature the Chop Shop expansion that will come with it. It has some additional tokens that you could use. You're given a limited number of them to take an additional command board action. There's also some upgrade cards that allows you to give each card an individual bonus that you can use throughout the game,
as well as 1 individual player power for each command board that you can use over and over throughout the course of the game. If you want to see what the game looks like in action, we have a playthrough of it on our channel. We'll actually be playing with the expansion so you can see everything that's involved. And then, as always, thanks so much for checking out our channel. Be sure to check out this Kickstarter, and we'll see you in the next one. Thunder Road Vendetta is a blast from the past where you will be trying to blast cars and stuff. With all new art, they've added a lot of numbers, a lot of little refinements. From Marie Bergeron, should I let you keep going? Bergeron and Garrett Cadia.
That's one way to lose a vehicle. So the other way is just, sorry.
Yeah, where were you going? All over the place.